So, quick example, if you are in the market to purchase a new SUV and you've got all of these requirements and all of them are kind of important, what if the first dealership came and said to you, I've got the perfect SUV for you? It's right there. Do you need any of this information or the requirements if that's what they're going to deliver to you? I mean, what should you do when you see that? You should walk away, right? So, how does this relate to procurement? What's currently happening is when we get proposals, we have to go through all the proposal to see what does it meet the requirement, it doesn't meet the requirement, how well does it meet the requirement. But if the proposal is so bad and you will never going to hire them in the first place, does it make sense for you to go through all of that? It doesn't. So what we want is a tool that can help us really differentiate quickly and effectively the vendors that really with high expertise versus those vendors that look like this, right? So that's really bring us to our approach, which we call the XPD or the expertise-based best value procurement methodology. Some of you may have heard about this or attended one of my presentations before. But very quickly, this process has really two major stages or phases. Phase one is the selection phase, and phase two is the clarification phase. In the first phase, the selection, all vendors will submit proposals. They will submit some information that are very specific, which we're going to cover in a few minutes. And from that first phase, we're going to shortlist and narrow down to one vendor that's going to get invited to phase two. With that one vendor, we're going to do a very detailed pre-planning, clarification. We do our due diligence to make sure that this vendor hasn't missed anything. The award happens after phase two. So what's really wanted to highlight here is if you look at the traditional way of the majority of the procurements out there, what's typically happening is you do the first phase, the selection, everyone will submit proposals, and then you shortlist, and then you go through the negotiation phase. And that negotiation phase is typically, most of the time, is spent around the commercial aspect and the legal aspects of the contracts, with a very, very minimal amount of space for pre-planning and risk management, risk minimization of the actual project. So what's going to happen in the traditional way is once you shortlist and you negotiate and you agree on the contract, you sign the contract, what's going to happen? The people from the vendor side that worked on the tendering phase, what they will start to do, they will disappear, and then another team, which is the execution team, will appear and will start working with the client in order to start pre-planning and kick off this project. And this is where the majority of the problems happen. So what we're doing right now is we're shifting that pre-planning phase into our procurement process. So if anything happened during this clarification phase and we're not satisfied, then we haven't signed the contract yet with that vendor.